In this video, I'm going to show you the 2024 GSA Multiple Award Schedule research that took me over 4 hours to assemble. Now, research is only as good as how much it reveals and educates, so I made absolute sure that the information I gathered would be valuable to you in those ways. You'll learn about GSA spending patterns, which will fuel your creativity to sell off of your GSA contract. I guarantee you, this is the same information that big defense contractors pay teams of eggheads to build out. And I'm going to deliver it to you right now for free because I love small businesses. I call this the GSA Trifecta because there are 3 major data groups, and each one will light your path through the GSA terrain. If you aren't in the GSA program, you'll learn if it's a good move. And if you are a GSA contract holder, you'll be equipped to make the very best decisions going into 2025 to win some big government contracts. The GSA Trifecta all starts by answering the question, are overall sales in the GSA program going up, going down, or are they flat? It's important to track how agencies spend on the GSA because if GSA sales increase X% overall, then your sales should increase at about the same percentage. Now, here are the GSA sales over the past 5 years. I always like to look at these and see what are the trends that are popping out. So as you can see, the sales are there in column B. You can kind of run your finger down the screen and track those, going from 47.6 billion total in 2020, moving in a nice positive direction every year for the past 5 years, and ending in 2024 at about $71.6 billion in GSA sales. You'll see the increase percentage averaging out somewhere around 10%, maybe a little bit less from year to year. The whole point of this is to kind of keep track of where the GSA program is going overall. And you, the contractor, as the GSA spend goes up 10%, you should see your sales going up 10% through GSA. If not, then that means you're kind of falling behind. The second part of the GSA Trifecta is the breakdown of sales across the 12 large categories in GSA. You're about to see a rundown of the market size of your GSA category. Now, this is all the data for spending through the GSA Multiple Award Schedule program in 2024. And you can see that it's itemized by the 12 different large categories. So the very first and biggest category is IT, $23 billion, almost, just about half of what came in through GSA went through IT. Next up, which is somewhere around a quarter, was professional services. This is stuff like business services, engineering, language, and other ones like that. Next up is transportation and logistics services at about 2.6 billion. Then industrial products and services, followed by facilities and construction, then office management, travel and lodging, human capital, security and protection, and then from there, it just kind of falls into a miscellaneous group. If you're in a smaller sales category, you'll definitely want to focus on the next part because it factors in competition.
Hey, real quick, I have a gift to offer. It's very high value if you're a small business and you're looking to grow your federal sales, and it's free. You can get access to an information-packed 17-minute webinar that I created to educate you on the GSA program. Also, I wrote a book that outlines the exact method that I've watched hundreds of my customers use for amazing growth in federal sales. Most of them started out with absolutely no government experience. These free resources are the shortest path to gaining 20 years of knowledge as quickly as possible. You'll find a link in the description below. Now back to the video.
Now let's wrap up with the last part of the GSA Trifecta, the sales averages for each large category. We finally arrived to the sales averages, the third of the trifecta. Now, as you can see on this very beautiful spreadsheet, I went ahead and chopped them up by the 12 large categories that we've been talking about quite a bit now. And I've sorted them from the highest average sales per vendor down to the lowest. And also at the very bottom is the average. So let's just go through this data. Very top, the winner, if you are in the travel category, even though less than 700 million goes through GSA in that category a year,
there are only 81 vendors, which makes it very, very non-competitive, and 8.5 million is the average per vendor in that category. That's amazing. Next up is information technology. Not a surprise, even though there's a lot of competition in this one, there's a lot of dollars. So of the 25.5 billion, there are a lot of vendors, 6,000 or so, but 4.2 million is about the average. If you're right in the middle, sales-wise, in the IT category, you're making about 4.2 million through the GSA program. That's next up is professional services. 13.5 billion going in, about 5,000 vendors, 2.6 million is the average per vendor. Security and protection, human capital, facilities, furniture, office management, they're all coming in at about 1 point something on the low ones per million per vendor. And then below that, we're starting to get into kind of the lower numbers, the under $1 million. Industrial products, scientific, miscellaneous, transportation, and logistics. Find your category, look at the sales average. This is kind of what you could expect as far as a revenue bump. 1.9 million is the average across all of these categories. So
there you go. We went over the 3 most important metrics you need to know if you are thinking about getting in the GSA program. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and if you aren't in GSA yet, there's a link in the description below, so schedule your discovery call now.